All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com. Of course, the 1010XL app, and we are live on Facebook as well, on YouTube. We're all over Spotify, all over the place. You will find this show and so many others brought to you by our friends at Team Tommy Mack. I love every one of them, and I got a new one to share in just a moment. But they're a group of small businesses that I personally endorse on this show, on other shows, on social media, out in the streets. People are always asking me about them. I connect them together. I do a little business development for them, and I love doing it because they're good people that do the job the right way every single time. My team right here, you may not need them today, but when you do need their services, they are the best at what they have to offer. And new to the team is Fields Cadillac. That's right, the title sponsor of my new show called Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mack, which we filmed Wednesday night. And it's a show of me riding around in one of the great vehicles at Fields Cadillac around town. And my celebrity guest sits in the shotgun seat. We talk about life, career, Jacksonville, Jags, whatever comes to mind. And it was a lot of fun. Brett Myers was my first guest. Of course, former Philadelphia Philly pitching extraordinaire and Jacksonville legend. Has done a lot in his life, and he's doing a great job with his wife, raising their kids, raising their family. Got a couple little baseball players in the group themselves. So stay tuned for that. That'll drop soon. But, yeah, great to have them on board. We'll get through Team Tommy Mack and talk about it a little bit later on when we look at our stats review. Of course, your Jags taking on the Bills on Monday Night Football, 7:30 kickoff, one of two games that night. And our own Grammage will be in attendance up in Buffalo. And he's here now, though, so let's say hi to Grammage. What's up, Graham?
No table in Buffalo, New York is safe.
Light them on fire and do a flip. All right, just don't hurt your back.
I will be there flying out tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice.
With the fiance and myself, we're both going.
Okay. Did you pick this like earlier in the year? Like, is this a significant reasoning or what? Why this?
So one of my best friends, I went to high school in Nashville. I'm from here, but I went to high school in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
One of my best friends from Nashville, I was best man at his wedding back in July or June. He is born and raised in Buffalo.
Okay.
So he's a diehard Bills fan.
Yeah.
He came down for the weird 6-9 game a couple years ago. He was down here for that.
Yep.
His dad still lives in Buffalo. He goes to a ton of the games up there. So last year, when
that's gotta be a tough ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, they sell out. Mm-hmm. They're a football craziness.
Yeah. So last year when the opponents came out before the schedule,
that we aren't.
We were talking about last year. He was like, "You got to come out for the game."
Yeah.
When the opponents came out and we saw Jaguars at Bills, and then it ended up being the London game.
Right.
So obviously, kind of got screwed.
Yeah.
So this year, when we saw that, okay, we're actually going. It's Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
All right, no excuses. We're making this happen.
Cool, and it's an early game, which is nice. I might even stay away till the end. We'll see. So I got to talk to Gus here at 10:10.
Yeah.
I might be iffy after the game.
Yep. So yeah, he and his wife will be there,
okay.
and my fiance and myself, like a double date kind of thing for the weekend.
Yep.
We got an Airbnb together, so
very cool.
Should be fun, man. We'll be watching all the other games on Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday slate. We'll find the best wing spot.
Oh, you know it. They got great wings up there, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Cool.
It's gonna be a great football weekend, man.
Is it a direct flight or do you got to change?
We're connecting
planes?
in Baltimore.
Oh, you are. Okay. Yeah. Jacksonville does a pretty good job with direct.
Yep.
They're getting more and more direct. We need it. No question about that. All right. Of course, looking at the Bills moving forward at 2-0. I want to get into a couple things before we break this game down. They're talented enough. I mean, obviously, what they did to Miami makes you wonder what they're going to do to us. Although I've got them winning because we play them well for whatever reason. And I'm expecting them to play well. And I'm expecting our Josh Allen, to have a monster day. And I tell you what, going back and looking at the tape again from last week, he was a monster all day against Cleveland. That guy came to play, and there was no doubt about that. But we'll talk about that. But before we do, there's a lot of talk going on. We just got off the airwaves here at 1010XL 92.5 FM on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and Pockets. And, just talking about there's a lot of – I mean, look, fans are fans. You guys keep fanning. I applaud you. I mean, you want wins. We all do. We want victories, right? I think we also were so quick to point the finger and blame. You want to blame. But we don't always blame consistently. You know what I mean? Like play calling. Okay. Whoever's calling it. Let's forget who's calling. We don't even know who's calling it, right? The bomb to Brian Thomas Jr. Was that a great play call? I think it was a great play call. Perfect time. I'd like to have seen it earlier. They weren't expecting it. Brian Thomas did a great job with the ball in the air, man. Gave him a little nudge, make sure that he was going to catch that rock. Great throw by Trevor. Plenty of protection, right? Is that a great call? I think it's a great call. Okay, flip side. Coming out of the end zone. All I'm hearing, man, that was a great call. Look at what Brian Thomas said. He had him. Well, guess what? That play took too long to develop, and you're in your own end zone. So it's a bad call. Get it out quick. Give yourself a chance to get a little bit of room so that maybe you can take a shot like that. You're in no position to take that shot there, especially with that defensive line that was kicking your ass and kicking Cam Robinson's ass most of the game. So, no, that was a bad call. But it's funny. You hear, no, that was a good call because if it would have worked, well, it didn't work. And the reason why, he had no time at all. And you're stuck, you got your back against the wall. There's another play out there people are complaining about, right? It's a flood route. I think it was maybe second quarter. Let's see. Gabe Davis is on the sideline. It's on their sideline, the far sideline. Etienne's in the flat. And Kirk, I think, or maybe it might have been Kirk, BTJ, running a skinny post from the inside. Nobody's open. He misses a throw, throws it over his head, sails it on him. But is that a bad play call? Or is that just lack of execution? By the way, just because players are covered doesn't make it a bad play call. I mean, a guy on a quick slant, if you got a guy on your hip and you put the ball in the right spot and he gets 7-8 yards, is that a bad play call? He was covered. No, the guy made a great throw and a great catch. So I'm not saying that it's all one side. There's balance here. I understand that. But gosh darn it, these guys are professional athletes, okay? So you asked me, well, what would you do with the Gabe Davis throw? Well, A, I wouldn't have thrown it over his freaking head. B, is there communication there where I'm going to throw back shoulder when the DB's on your hip or higher? If he's behind you, I'm going to throw it on the outside in front of you. But if he's next to you, like every other team does, even in college, even in high school, where does the ball go? Back shoulder, right? Not there. So is there miscommunication there? Do they not have that there? That seems like a standard thing. That's not a bad play call. Oh, he rolled to the right first. So what? They want him to go to the right so then he can throw back to the left. It was a half roll. Anyway, I'm just saying, sometimes it's just the players not performing. Reach block, yeah, guess what? That tackle's got to get down and reach the block. That's his job. Reach blocks happen all the time. So my point is, I don't know. I sit there, I go watch the tape. I take notes on every single snap. And, things I'm seeing and hearing out there don't match up to what I'm seeing and hearing. And not that I'm always right, because I'm not. I understand that. And I believe that. I'm not that way. Football's not rocket science. It's not. You can tell when they're playing well. I don't need PFF's grade to tell me who's playing well on the offensive line. Right? So tell me who's playing well on the offensive line. I'll tell you who's playing well. Who do you think's playing well on the offensive line?
Brandon Sheriff's playing okay.
Brandon Sheriff's playing pretty darn good right now.
Morse at times, although the safety was bad. Honestly, the interior are playing better than the tackles right now.
The safety was bad, but Ezra gets swum on.
Yeah.
So he didn't help.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get swum on, you could maybe pin that guy there and maybe he got a chance.
I'd probably say Sheriff and Morse are playing the best.
Okay. The three interior are playing way better than the tackles. And we thought going in, what did all I hear? But it drove me nuts, too. Wait, what other team can say they got 4 starting caliber tackles? Give me a break, 4-star. Whatever. I mean, obviously, they're struggling. What are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? You pulling Anton? You're not pulling Anton. He's your young and up-and-coming player. You hope he turns it around. You going to pull Cam? Okay, Cam's missed a lot of blocks. I'm not going to defend that. He has. And more in the run game than he has in the past, which I'm surprised because normally he's a pretty good run-blocking offensive tackle. Probably strong suit in the past anyway, but hasn't been this year. You're going to yank him after 2 games and do what? Put Walker in there? What if Walker's not better? Because 2 weeks ago, he wasn't. He didn't win the job in camp. They give him chances. He didn't win it, so I'm going based off what they believe. Cam's better than Walker going into the game. Yes or no? Yes? You're just shaking your head. Yes? Graham's saying, yeah, right. Now 2 weeks later, he's not better than – now Walker's better? No. It's too early to do anything yet. They have to play better. Now, the question is there enough pressure on the players to know that they're going to lose – they're going to lose. Sorry about that. They're going to lose their starting job, at least for a game or so, if they don't get their you-know-what together. Is there pressure on them?
No.
Have you gone to Cam and said, Cam, what the hell are you doing? You're playing like crap, man. You make some plays, but overall, you're not getting the job done. You know, I got a guy waiting to take your job. I mean, is there pressure like that? Because there should be. You're a pro. I'm sorry. You're a pro. You got to win. I don't care. You're not playing well. I got to figure out why, and I got to figure out your replacement if you can't get it done.
But there's not. You know there's not.
There's not.
You know there's not. Because
okay, let me ask you another question. I asked on Jaguars today. At the end of preseason, the Jags went into week 1 with their starting 5 offensive linemen. Who wouldn't be your starter?
Today, who?
Right? No, like who would you have not been your starter in that opening day? Who beat out who? Who beat out her? I'll tell you right now, I like Cole Van Lanen, but he's not better than Anton. Brandon Scherf's better than Cooper Hodge. Cooper Hodge is not ready. He's not. I like him. He's big. He's athletic. I think he needs more time. He needs more work. I'm not putting him out there in the Wolves. I'm not sending him to the Wolves. He's not ready, and Scherf's playing pretty darn well. Morse is better than Fortner. Ezra's better than Hance or whoever else they have there. And clearly, Cam was better than Walker. Walker would have beat him out. Now, you could have said, well, Tom, the $16 million, but that Cam's getting paid has some political pull. I agree with that. But if Walker was that much better, you would have traded or got rid of him. Said, forget about it. I got Walker. But guess what? They would have done that years ago if they felt that way. They clearly don't.
There was a $25 million cap hit they could have gotten out of with Cam Robinson as their left tackle this year if they believed Walker Little was the guy.
16 million, right. If if is the big word. IF, capital F, not AF, IF. If. So my point is, look, I'm not happy with the way that Cam nor Anton's playing. I'm expecting them to turn this thing around. I'm expecting the leaders of that team to step up and be like, that is not good enough. Put pressure on each other. We did. You had to have thick skin, man. They'd yell at you right on the field if you weren't in the right gap. Gosh damn it, Team Mack. What are you doing? And then sometimes I have to defend myself. I was like, I'm in the right gap. You're in the wrong gap. Whatever. But you're holding each other accountable to that. Do they do any of that? I don't know. I'm not behind closed doors. I don't see it on the field. Now, our defense has played good enough to win, so you can nitpick a little. I would say when they have to stop the run, they haven't always stopped the run. I would say that. I would like more pressure by some of the other guys, but overall, you're averaging 19 points a game on defense. That's winning football.
Yes.
Winning.
Yes.
Guess what? Not to get ahead in the stats, but guess what? Buffalo's defense is giving up a game. 19. Same. You know what the difference is? About 20 points per game on offense. They're averaging 32.5 points a game. We're averaging 15.
That's terrible, man.
Come on. Now, you're going to say that's play calling. I'm going to say it's not play calling. I'm going to say there's probably a little bit of that. There's a couple calls I probably wouldn't like if I went back and looked. I know the end around of Duvernay I didn't like. I thought it was bad timing. You didn't fool nobody. They were ready for it. There were a couple other plays. They knew what you were running, it felt like. Jumping into gaps, knowing where to go. So maybe some of that. But to me, it's all about executing. Do you remember the pass to Etienne? It was kind of like a swing pass, but Trevor got pressured real quick and had to throw it low.
Etienne made a great catch.
Made an incredible catch, right?
Yeah.
Gabe Davis misses his block. He missed the block. So if that's not missed and the ball's on time in the right spot, maybe Etienne has a chance to make a play. There, he doesn't have much of a chance to make a play. Why? Because the receiver didn't block the lineman.
Right.
So who's whose fault is it?
Is that a bad play call, or is it
a bad play or not? You know what I mean? So I think you got to look at. I mean, you do whatever you want, but if you're going to sit there and moan and groan about play calling, make sure that accountability that you're holding to the coaches, make sure you're holding it to the players as well, and every player, including the QB. Some of you out there think he does nothing wrong ever, and you are mistaken. You are really mistaken. He does plenty wrong. He does plenty right. I want to see him do more. I want to see him run things a little bit better. Okay, I'll tell you this. Let's go this. This isn't play call, but this is either coaching or players, right? Delay of game penalties down near the goal line after that tremendous scramble by Trevor, right? Should have never happened, right? So who do we put that on? Coaches not getting the play in fast. Why aren't they getting the play in fast enough? That seems ridiculous, but that happens. I was a play caller, right? I had to get the play in for the defense coordinator, and our sign was yanking the mask, like hurry the bump up, like I need the call because they're breaking the huddle and I don't have the call yet, right? So that kind of communication. Call gets in late. The linemen kind of lollygagged their way up there. There's no sense of urgency. On the second where they call timeout, there's like 5 seconds left in the play clock, and Kirk's looking at Trevor with his arms like this, and Trevor taps his head, and he goes, oh, and then he looks over to Gabe, taps his head, and then the clock runs out. That's when Trevor threw the ball down because he was pissed off. So is that coaching? If they get the play call in late, yeah, part of it is. But the other part isn't. These are professional athletes, man. You got to you see the clock. It's right there. You see the play clock, especially the QB. He's looking at it. I just think it's accommodated. The one thing I will say, it feels like Groundhog Day again. Inconsistent play. 3 years in a row, inconsistent play. Well, the next point we're going to get into, is it accountability? But I don't know about the accountability. Is there accountability coming from Doug Peterson and his staff? Do these players really have pressure on them to perform at a high level and perform with great production and not negativity, or they're not going to be out there?
No.
Some of that is, now granted, they're paying Sheriff $20 million. He's owning up to it, in my opinion, but just say he wasn't. They're not just going to yank him and leave $20 million sitting there. They're not. They just did his deal. They're going to give him more time and hope that he turns it around. Now, if it gets to a point where it's just we're 0-4, 0-5, and maybe then you do, but it's not him. I'm telling you right now. It's the outside guys.
But
my point is there's a balance. There's some truth to play calling. There's some truth to the players not executing. And it's the same old song and dance, right? Drop passes. Getting beat on a pass rush, not hitting your block, not picking up the blitz properly, not throwing the ball in the right spot, not catching it when you have to. Not the one thing I go back, it's funny, I kind of blew up on a caller today. I didn't mean to. It wasn't towards him. But his first comment was, the Browns were able to do whatever they want to. So I said, okay, they were, but this could have been an incredible comeback story. And one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons it wasn't an incredible comeback story is because my veteran running back didn't know where to line up. He didn't know what the play call was. He was supposed to be part of a trips formation in a triangle, and he's the motion guy. If he started there, all he had to do was motion once Trevor picked up his heel. But because he went to the other side of the formation, late over to the trips thing, he wasn't set. And then, look, does Trev got to wait on him? There's something there, miscommunication. But it was a great call, great catch and throw to Kirk. You're up 17-16. Who knows what happens?
They win the game, in my opinion.
The chances are you got a good shot to win the game. That's stuff.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry it is. I like Johnson. I think he's very good supplemental back for our team. And I don't know him personally, but come on, man. You got to know every play.
Because he played a good game other than that.
He did. I know, but that's a big one. It's a big one.
He played
attention to detail. It's got to be so much focus. Look, man, it's a sacrifice in the NFL when you're a player in the NFL, but you get paid to make that sacrifice. And what is it? From training camp to the end of the season, whenever that is, 110% focus on my game, on my team, on the opponent, on getting ready. That's it. Not fashion, not food, not music or whatever that's going on. That kind of commitment. And yeah, you know what? Your family life is a little different, right? Because you got to study. Honey, I can't just sit around at night and, just play with the kids all night long. I can play for a little bit, but guess what? I got to go into my study and study. I got to know this stuff. I got to study my playbook. It's ultimate commitment. And guess what? When you're done, you're either holding the trophy or you're on vacation. You have plenty of time to take vacation. Most people work 12 months a year. You work 10. So for 10 months, can I have the ultra focus of knowing exactly what I have to do on every single play? Is that too much to ask for a professional athlete, a professional football player? I say no. I say no. That wasn't the only play that cost them, but that was one of them. They left points on the board. They should have had 7 or 6 at least instead of 3, couple times. But that play hurt. So he had to settle for 3.
So back to something you said a minute ago, talking about the drive after the Trevor scramble when they had the couple of plays they couldn't get the snap off, and talking about kind of that whole process of getting the ball snapped and why they couldn't do it in time, right? It probably was an addition of a bunch of small things, right, that kept costing them a couple of seconds, right? So whoever's calling the play, Doug or Press, couple seconds too late getting it in. Okay, now we're 3 or 4 seconds behind. O-line lollygags. Now we're 4 to 5 seconds behind. Got to communicate with the receivers because they didn't get the call in. Okay, now we're 7, 8 seconds behind. And all of that is adding up to the problem. That, in my opinion, is a microcosm of the offense in general right now.
Yep.
Like,
how much of that would you put on the QB? It's his offense. Even if the play comes in late.
After the play coming in late, the rest of it I would put on him. So I'd say, I don't know, 50%.
That's what I'm saying. Once the play's called, it's up to the quarterback to get these guys set, get them up to the line, get it going, and get the snap count off on time.
Well, and to a larger point of, like, maybe not in that specific play is it necessarily Trevor's fault, but I think it's a fair argument to say that Trevor is typically, it seems like he's kind of getting a little bit more there, which I like, but he's typically not been the chew his teammates out type of guy. Maybe they need a little of that, man, because if the line's taking too long to snap, get on him. Yell at him. Line the F up, dude. We got to get this, man. Or he showed more frustration, which I actually liked in that game and in the press conference and everything.
Yep.
But I think that, I don't think it's a coincidence that the same offense, coaching, quarterback, rest of the team, that's struggling to get the play call off multiple plays in a row is the same offense as having an illegal formation cost them a touchdown.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's not a coincidence, right? Because
no, it's not.
These are all the same dudes.
Attention to detail.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that is top-down stuff.
Yep.
That's
coach. That head coach has got to make sure the attention to detail is implemented.
Because if the head coach is not up to snuff on attention to detail, probably means the OC won't be. If he's the one calling plays, probably means the QB won't be. Probably means the line won't be. So these things add up, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think what you're saying here is it makes us feel better when we're upset about a loss. Whoever, fans, media, everybody.
Yep.
It makes us feel better when we can point to one thing or one person or one instance and say, this is the problem.
Right.
But in reality, there's multiple problems. It's probably more, instead of one huge, giant problem that's just in the way of everything.
Right.
What this probably is a bunch of small problems that are contributing to one big loss. Right?
Right.
But that's tougher to swallow and digest. It's tougher on the drive home to say it's all this stuff.
Take last week's loss against Miami. You blame ETN, and he's part of the blame. But how the team reacted to that's also part of the blame.
Right.
You don't let him throw a bomb.
Right.
Go get to it, knock him in the mouth.
Right.
So it's not.
Don't go 3 and out the next 2 drives.
Of course it did. It killed the drive. It was a great drive, your best drive probably. And you should have had 7 there. We get it, but you didn't. You got to have some grit and bounce back. And when you all right, fine. We'll we'll just stop them and get you the ball back, not give up an 80-yard bomb the next play. Ballsy call by McDaniel, by the way. That.
Even still, something that really concerned me in that game, and I think could rear its ugly head in more away games, including Monday night. Who knows? We'll see. Their lack of response to adversity was really concerning.
Which I thought would be different because of camp.
I did too.
Camp was very demanding.
It was harder,
physical. I'm telling you, we were there every day. It was so different than last year. And a couple things are very surprised. By the way, Darren writes in, thanks, Darren, for watching, about how PFF grades our O-line. Listen, PFF is part of a process. It's okay. But you go look. We just went through this on the Jaguars today. Dempsey had all the rankings, every lineman ranked by PFF out of their position, right? Like Morse was the 9th ranked center. Ezra was 29 out of 60 guards, like about top half. Sheriff was 18th out of 70, so he was like top third. Cam was 56 out of 71, bottom third. Anton was even worse. He was 60th out of like 71, bottom third. You guys, because I see it all, Sheriff. No, Sheriff's actually playing okay. It's the guys on the outside that are getting their asses whooped. But you won't say that. You want to replace Anton? Why don't you replace Anton? He was terrible last week. Why do you want to replace Cam? I know he wasn't good either, but why don't you replace them both? Put Javon Foster out there. You're not going to do that because he's our young guy, our prospect that everyone thinks is the best one, and he was coming out of camp. I don't know. Maybe he's got his mind on other stuff. I don't know, but he's got to get it together, and so does Cam. The thing that concerns me about Cam, not concerning, that stands out, is he's missing blocks in the run game. He normally doesn't miss blocks in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Cam's a good run blocker, but he's missing them. And I don't know what that is. Has he lost his step? By the way, these reach blocks, I know the one. Look, Delpit made a great play. He read the play and jumped the gap. It's hard to get there when you're a tackle to get that angle down the line and get in front of him. You're not going to get there when he jumps it like that. But guess what? When he normally doesn't jump it, maybe they knew the play was coming. We don't know that. Maybe there was some kind of key to, hey, man, go after the running back if he does this, because he jumped the gap quick. Cam couldn't get there. It's still a missed block. It happened to Brian Thomas Jr. Couldn't get it. You tell me he's not fast enough to get in front of a guy that's got a little bit of an edge to him, a little bit of angle to him? That's the job. You have to reach block. You have to. Now, can you do different things? Of course you can. Knock the guy down, pull the guy around, but that's got to work too. So, anyway, the O-line's got to be better. There's no doubt about it. But everybody's got to be better. Everybody. Consistency. And, look, it's got to be all of them. It is Trevor, but it's also everybody. You got veterans out there, man. You're not a young team. All your targets, other than Brian Thomas Jr., are old. Not old, but they're vets. They've been around. They know what to do. I'm surprised on a couple of these, like the one throw I was talking about. Like, is there not communication? I know Gabe's new to you, right? But is there not communication? I mean, it's like common knowledge in any level. When you're running down the sideline and that DB, you see me here? That DB is on your hip, you throw it out here. If he's like neck and neck with you, you throw it on the back shoulder. It's like everybody does that. I don't know why we didn't do it on that play, but that should be implemented. It can't just be in the red zone. That's what happens. Look, and just because he's covered doesn't make it a bad play. Sometimes you got to throw in the coverage. You got to put it in the spot that your wide receiver or target can make a play, whether he's covered or not. Right? Okay. The out pattern to Brian Thomas Jr. that was low and inside. He was lucky that wasn't pick six. That was terrible. That was a 7-yard out towards the sideline. You know what I'm talking about? Trev threw it low. There wasn't pressure. He just threw it low and inside. It's a bad spot for the football. If that guy even picked his eyes up, he would have grabbed it and took off. So where's the spot? It's outside. So my receiver's the only guy that can get it. Trevor doesn't always do that. His best throws are in between the numbers, I'm telling you. And I agree. Let's take more shots. 1 1/4. Maybe not the same play. You mix it up and get Brian Thomas able to get a one-on-one and make sure they're in man. But sometimes you also got to throw it up to him and see if he can make a play. All the quarterbacks do it. That's one thing. I said that last year too, Grammage. I don't think Trevor feels comfortable just throwing it when they're covered. I think he wants them to be open before he's comfortable to pull the trigger.
I very much agree with that. It's interesting you bring that up because I was watching some stuff last night and kind of thinking about the same exact thing. That's extremely common amongst young QBs that were part of great college offenses.
Yeah.
Because they had receivers running wide open in college all the time. So they got used to a certain level of openness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have that in the league, it's hard to get over that and trust that you're going to throw them open to a spot.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that is, I want to say it was Orlovsky that was talking about this with CJ Stroud. With CJ Stroud.
Yep.
That is why he looks so substantially better than a lot of these other young guys, is because he is willing to throw when the guy's not necessarily open right now.
Right.
Understanding,
it's always to a spot.
Trusting the play, trusting the design, trusting where the throw is going to be to throw him open. And it's not just Trevor struggles with that. Bryce Young clearly struggling with that.
Oh, yeah.
Tua has struggled with that his whole career. He struggled with that because at Bama, Jerry Jeudy and all these guys are running wide open.
I know.
And it's honestly kind of surprising that Stroud is doing so well with it, because at Ohio State, man, he had Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and Jacksonville, and these dudes were running wide. But his ability to have that faith and trust in his arm, trust in the play call, trust in the receiver, you have to have those things to be a humming NFL offense. Because I got news for you. There is no NFL offense where dudes are just going to be open every play.
No.
And like,
the only reason they're open is if a guy slips or there's a breakdown in coverage. Like wide open, that normally doesn't happen.
The best in the NFL at this, we just watched last night. Aaron Rodgers is unbelievable at throwing guys open. Dudes that have a corner or a safety or what have you, right on them. His back shoulders.
He knows where to put it.
His back shoulders, his leading guys to where his guy can get it. The DB, it is unbelievable. And Trevor, I believe he has that ability arm-wise.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I don't.
He threw it on the Thomas touchdown. Now, that guy, it wasn't that he's covered, but think about when he threw it, where he threw it to, and just expect. I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
Yes.
That was a fantastic throw and an anticipated throw, and he put it in the right spot. So he does have the ability to do that. There's no question.
But I think that might be arguably the number one challenge of when you bring a new QB. I know he's not new anymore, but when you have a younger QB in the league, of how do you get him to make that mental switch of understanding that guys are not going to be wide open all the time, and you have to trust with the play call that I've put in front of you. You have to trust your arm. We drafted you first overall for a reason. You have this ability. You have to trust that stuff. And it's got to come now with BTJ going deep. That's great. And Trevor throws a beautiful deep ball.
In the middle.
That's got to come, though, with Ingram, Strange, Kirk. It's got to come with these other guys. And until that happens, it's still going to be clunky, in my opinion, throwing the ball.
Well, listen, I'm going to switch topics here, but I look, if I'm Trev, I'm taking over, man. Just like that scramble Trevor ball, man. Just get him up to the line, yell at him, do whatever, man. It's up to you to lead this team, at least on offense, and get them going in the right direction. You got all it. We always said, Trevor has got so many positives. Number one, he's tough, which I love, and then we know he's got all the physical tools. We know he's got some things, at least I believe, when he sees the field. He doesn't see it as well. I think his throws down the middle are way better than outside the numbers. I think he sails too many outside. Look, he throws off his back foot. I know there's pressure, but maybe you got to change the trajectory, because every time you throw off your back foot, it sails. It goes over the head. He missed Ingram early in the Cleveland game. He's lucky that one wasn't picked off. He overthrew him. Why? He threw it off his back foot. I'm not saying that you're going to have to if you got pressure. I mean, Mahomes makes a living out of it, but make sure you're throwing it in the right trajectory. Can't sail it. Just because you get pressure doesn't mean you can't make the throw. Now, you want to step in every throw and be able to get your hip behind it and your body behind it and all that. And at times you've been able to do that. The throw to Kirk for the touchdown was phenomenal. The throw to BTJ was phenomenal. The 7 route we talked about on Monday, I want to see that out in front. That's one you got to let your player go get and make some. When Strange did that 7 route, he had to turn into it. Don't turn into it. Put it right here and let him go up the field. But I want to see more Trevor Ball because he's got the talent. And you know what? At the end of the day, Trev, screw it. Take over. It's your team. They're only going to go as far as you take them, and we all believe that, right? You need the defense. You need everybody else. But this team, every team in the NFL today, is only going to go as far as their quarterback can take them. Fair? I think it's pretty damn fair. All right, let's talk Mason Smith really quick. A healthy scratch last week. Coach Peterson came out and said that Jeremiah Ledbetter, Esezi, number 90, out of Wahoo, I think I got that right. Sorry if I didn't. That they had better practices. Mason struggled a bit, although I didn't really see him struggle that much. Whatever. My question is, and I hope it isn't, is there some kind of power struggle going on between Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson? Doug has final say in the 48 who take the field on Sunday. So he decides. And he's a coach. He should decide. My question is, how do you keep a second-round pick on the bench that all he shows is promise? It doesn't show negative. He ain't going backwards. You know what I mean? I don't know. That just seemed like a weird thing. And I like Ledbetter, and I like Esezi. I do. But I like Mason Smith better. He's got more upside. Ledbetter's good against the run. I got to give him credit. And I know it says he can play too. I'm not saying they can't. But to me, I want, next to Eric, I want Mason Smith. And if the coach says, well, he hasn't earned it yet, well, only so long before that GM says, hey, man, you got to play the kid. The second rounder. Give him a chance. He's shown some promise. It's so early in his career. We don't know yet, but the healthy scratch, didn't he cause like 4 holding penalties or something? That's because they couldn't block him. Because when you get beat, you hold. Coverage, yank. You know, guy goes by, try to keep him near you. You know, same thing with offensive linemen. They're going to hold you if you beat them. So, I don't know. That was an interesting one. I hope there isn't. I do wonder with Doug, just, well, here's the thing. Let me throw this at you, okay? Let's throw this. I talk about accountability, okay? Let's take Doug for his word. I don't know why we wouldn't. I'm not saying I am. I'm not. I am. We'll take him for his word. He says he struggled against Miami, and the other 2 guys outperformed him in practice, okay? So holding him out, Mason Smith, is that accountability? Play better and you play. There could be some truth to that.
If you take him at his word, yes.
What's that?
If you take him at his word,
yes. If you take him at his word, I know a lot of people out there, well, that's just coach speak. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't ever need to hear from the coach. I don't personally, because I can see it all on the field. I know if you're good or not. The coach ain't fooling me with his words.
It's like the preseason when they get asked who they're going to play and what.
Yeah.
Who they play in the preseason tells you exactly how they feel about X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Roy Robertson Harris playing in the preseason deep in the 3rd and 4th quarter tells you what they think about Roy Robertson Harris. Because verbally they're going to tell you he's great and he's got the whatever.
Yep.
No.
And he's playing okay.
He's playing fine.
Record. Yeah, he is.
The Mason Smith thing, I have a different conspiracy theory cap I'd like to put on, if you would allow me.
Yep.
I believe if this continues, I'll be wrong. If he is a healthy scratch further beyond, then we'll have to have a different conversation. I believe that what happened is I think that he probably had some type of disciplinary thing within the team that Doug is keeping behind closed doors.
Okay.
And his punishment was he's not going to play. And Doug is not the kind of coach that throws players under the bus. He doesn't.
Never has.
He does not expose things.
Right.
To me, that's what I'm choosing to believe right now.
Okay.
Until I'm seeing.
That could be a lot of truth to that.
I believe that's probably
something happened.
Maybe he got in a fight at practice.
Or yelled at a coach. Thinks he's bigger than his britches. That kind of thing. Got to bring him down. I don't know. We're speculating here. Obviously.
Total speculation. I have zero proof. I have zero evidence of any of this. I don't know that this happened. I simply looking in my brain of how in the world you're going to have your second round pick that's totally healthy be a healthy scratch.
Right.
That makes the most sense to me.
Agreed. And arguably better than the other two.
Yeah.
There's not really, there's an argument there that he's better than both those guys.
I just have an incredibly hard time believing that your second round pick that has shown promise, like you've said, whether you think he played great overall is a different story, but he has objectively shown good things at times in camp, in the Miami game, whatever.
Yep.
It's incredibly hard for me to believe you're going to make your second round pick a healthy scratch over these other two guys strictly because of performance. I don't believe that.
Yeah. Maybe something happened. You're right. That's a good point, Grammage. Well, hopefully he can turn it around. They can get him back out there because he does. He's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. He's a beast when he wants to be. So, hopefully they can get that. All right, let's get into the Buffalo Bills. Of course, they are 2-0, averaging 32.5 points a game. That's 19 on defense. Josh Allen, we know who Josh Allen is. We're hoping our Josh Allen has a monster game. He did last week. He normally plays very well against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills offensive line, pretty good, only giving up 2 sacks so far, averaging 4 yards a carry. Third down has not been good for them. Fourth down has. We'll get into the stats in just a little bit. Of course, no Gabe Davis, no Stephon Diggs this year. You got Khalil Shakur, who's leading them right now. Keon Coleman, who's there. Curtis Samuel as well. A couple tight ends, led by Dalton Kincaid. James Cook averaging 5 yards a carry. Really good back. He catch a ball at backfield. He's got a touchdown and receptions. Look, they've got it going on right now. I think they're one of the better teams in the AFC, no question about it. Still early to tell, though, at just 2 games. We normally play them well. I'm hoping we can do the same. Their defense is really good for the most part. Who remembers? Is it EJ Espinoza? AJ, sorry.
AJ Epineza.
AJ Espenza. He wrecked us last year. Did I get that, Espenza?
Epineza.
Sorry. Oh, Epineza. Sorry, AJ. AJ killed us last year. Just was in our backfield all game long. Greg Rousseau has 3 sacks. Ed Oliver, another sack. Von Miller coming into his own. Jamarcus Ingram, 2 picks. They got 3 total. We have 0 picks, by the way. Now, the quarterback hasn't thrown any, but we don't have any. Interesting, in my opinion, after last year when we got off to such a fast start. Of course, Damar Hamlin, the safety. So they got some players, man. We're gonna have to just be on our A game for this game. Can we just go through a game where, we're not sitting here all week questioning, ability, questioning play call? Can we not just have, maybe on occasion, but not multiple, Can we have a game where we're like, all right, I see it. It's coming together. You can see it.
Can it be halftime and we're not like, what the hell is this?
No, right. Like last week's offensive performance in the first half was, I wanted to climb up to the side of the stadium and burn that TR. That was ridiculous. I didn't really, but I thought it was dumb to begin with. And then he doesn't play well early, came back, played fine. I'm telling you, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. I understand that, but gosh dang, man, you should have had that game. You should have had Miami. You should be 2-0 going to Buffalo right now. You should be, but you're not. Because why? Because you don't pay enough attention to freaking detail at every position. Every player doesn't do that, right? You just don't. And you got to change that because that's what it takes to survive and to win in the National Football League. Every bit of my game, I've got to work on. The great ones work on it consistently, all the time. And all I can look, I don't know what happens. You guys today, you can do a lot from your house, right? You got the tablets, you can go home. You don't have to need anything else. All you need is peace and quiet and time to study, time to watch film. How many of them are doing it extra? How much extra work you putting in, right? How much extra stuff are you putting in? You watch, look, I will compare. You look at the series quarterback last year. Do you see how much extra work Mahomes puts in? Notice that? I was kind of shocked by that. In season, he's doing this. Full-on, high-intensity training, working on his game, working on his craft. Why? Because he wants to be great every time. I'm not saying Trevor has to do that, but collectively, are we doing those kinds of things? And it's not physical yet for them. They're not getting out physical. But they are getting out attention to detail. They are getting beat.
With 16 specifically, I think it's mental.
It is mental.
It's his stuff. Like, he misses a few throws here and there that are mechanical things for sure. You're not wrong. But I think even good quarterbacks in the league, I think
it happens
every so often miss throws. With him, it's you've always said this, and I agree. It's seeing the field. It's making the right decisions in the right moments at times.
Go watch all his throws down the field. The ones in between the numbers are perfect.
Yeah.
They're always in the right spot. For the most part, he sails a couple, but for the most part, he puts it right on them.
But I've still never seen Trevor in a game where I feel like he mentally had the defense beat. You know what I mean?
I'll go back to last year against New Orleans, that Thursday night game. He was really, really impressive. That was a game he kind of just took over, And I would just imagine mentally he had an edge there because physical and mental, they play a part in each other at least.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Like when he took off on that scram, that's what I want to see.
I'm not saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying there's been a bunch of games where he's been mentally sharp.
I know what you're saying.
I just mean
had him on their heels,
took over a game with his brain, type of thing.
Well, sometimes you got to take it over with your arm and your legs too.
100%.
Your brain, your brain tells you what to do. So
100%. But there are games when I watch the Chiefs, and it feels like that offense is just no matter what the defense does, they are always a step ahead, and the defense can't be right. They can't win.
Right.
And the Bengals at times when they're healthy and humming, they hit that sometimes. The Ravens have hit this before. Maybe some at the end of 2022, you got there a bit. But it's just not enough that I wish a Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence led offense would feel more like they're playing chess against a defense playing checkers.
Yeah. Just take it over.
Yeah.
I think we got to see more of that. All right, time now for Stats Review, brought to you by Team Tommy Mack, group of businesses that I love endorsing here in this market and beyond. They're always there for you when you need them. Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, the number one name in the bail game. They've got the cash. They've got extra cash. If you have some needs, they'll get you out of jail quick. 904-822-2245. Carbon Man Flooring, more than just LVP. Carbon Man's LVP. Carbon Man, he's got all types of flooring at the highest quality and the lowest prices. Check him out, carbonman.biz. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Hey, all you contractors, home builders, guys that are fixing, kitchens and redoing rooms and whatnot, and you need a big tin out there to take all your construction debris, haul it away, dump it, bring it back. That's what J-Dog Junk Removal does as well, and hauling. And they also take your junk, quote unquote, and they refurbish it and give it back to veteran families in need. Veteran owned and operated. Give them a call at 844-GET-J-DOG, spelled the normal way. All right, Azar sausage, my favorite, whether it's in your favorite dish, in a bun, Azar sausage is the one. It's true. And you put them with anything, and the andouille's good, the hot's good, great to just cut up, whatever, man. Fantastic stuff. Get it at Native Son, get it at Winn-Dixie and your other local grocery stores. Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, they've been my commercial real estate family since day one. A long time ago, my first job out of the NFL was with Phoenix Realty. I'm still friends with all the principals and their employees that I know, and they are great people, whether it's commercial, retail, industrial, office, development. Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, man, they're the best for a reason, man. Give them a call, 399-5222, 904-399-5222. Michael Nichols' State Farm Agency, my agent. Give a chance to be yours. Business, home, whatever. Takes care of auto, life, supplemental health. Takes care of it all, and home, all for you. And I tell you what, him and his team are always available 24/7 to take care of all your insurance needs. Give him a call at 904-777-6888. Great to have them on board. Freedom Finance, of course. My man, Courtney Myers, if you need a CFO, a fractional CFO, if you need help with fundraising, you need help with forecasting, you need help with keeping the books right, you early stage companies, I know you need financial help. Give my friend Courtney a call, 620-897-7079, 620-897-7079. $1,279 for Freedom Finance. Of course, the Salt Air Inn and Suites. How did I miss them? That's a great boutique hotel, man. Just 4 blocks from Atlantic Ocean on Atlantic Boulevard. A concierge service with a phenomenal boutique hotel, man. 2 blocks from all the action. Check them out. Of course, Beach Life Rentals, they're a part of that family. You see them all up and down the beach for your umbrellas, your chairs, your tables, whatever you need. They can handle it for you. They got a great little surf shop in Jax Beach as well. Please check out TommyMack.net, at TommyMack55 on YouTube. And check out Riding Shotgun, headed your way. Brought to you by the newest member of Team Tommy Mack, Fields Cadillac, where I drive around with my celebrity guests all through Jacksonville as we talk about life, career, and living in Jackson, the Jags, everything. It's a lot of fun, man. Brett Myers was my first guest this past week. All right, let's get into the stats, shall we? You already talked about the points. And Jags at 15 on O and 19 on D. The Bills 32.5 on O, 19 on D. That's got to change if you're going to win this one. Yards per carry. All right. This was where we might have a little bit of action because they're giving up 4.5 yards per carry on the ground, and we're averaging 5.4 yards a carry. Now, granted, some of that's curved because of Trevor's long jaunt. But listen, I think ETN's having a good year. And, of course, Tank, when healthy, and they give him opportunities, he's had a pretty good year. But they give up 4.5 yards a carry. Not good at all. We're giving up 3.8 yards a carry. That's good D right there. Now, the only complaint, you got to stop the run when you really need to, and that's most of the time in the fourth quarter. So let's make sure we can handle that. And great job by the defense. All right, yards per attempt. I want to talk about this, too, because I find it interesting. Yards per attempt plus completion percentage. Trevor's at 7.5 yards per attempt, which is high for him. You know, he was into 7s early, but he's normally around 6, 8, that range. But 51% completion percentage. That's not good. Good to go downtown. I love it. Gabe's averaging 20. Brenton averaging high teens. Brian Thomas Jr. average whatever, 50, whatever it is. You know, that's great. But, man, you got to be better than 51%. They're at 8.8 yards per attempt. That's even further down the field. But Josh Allen's at 74% completion percentage. That's a big difference, man. A yard more down the field and complete about 20% more of your passes, 18. That's a big difference. It is to me anyway. All right, our defense giving up 7.4 yards per attempt at 63.4% completion. Got to be better there. How about this? Their pass defense is good. At least it looks like it. 5.5 yards per attempt at 65.7% completion percent. So it looks like dink and dunk against them. Maybe they let you play in front, keep it in front, make the tackle. We'll see how they come out Monday night. Third down, both offenses not good. We're at 26.3. They're at 33.3. That's terrible. It's amazing they're 2-0, not getting off the field on third down. On defense, we're really good. We're at 33.3, which is fantastic. And their defense, 50%. So they're not good on third down. Maybe something there, right? Against the run and maybe third down. We got something there. Fourth down, 0 for 1 for us. They've gone for it 3 times and converted 3. Their defense extremely good on fourth down, 1 of 6. We're 3 of 5 on defense. Of course, last week, that run, line up correctly, can you? For crying out loud. That's unbelievable. All right, sacks. We give up 7. They give up 2. Osiris Torrance, anybody? Deion Dawkins, that's a player too, man. They got a good O-line. Physical. We were just talking. We had Osiris Torrance right there, man, but we didn't want him for whatever reason. Whatever. All right, let's see. They've got 6 sacks. They've thrown 2 picks. We've got 5 sacks. What am I thinking? I'm thinking stupid. All right, they got 6 sacks. Their offense is giving up 2 sacks. We've got 5. Our offense has given up 7 sacks. No picks for us either side. Josh Allen is not throwing a pick. Their defense has 3 interceptions. I thought we'd have more. We don't have any. Turnover ratio, we're -1. They are +3. So on paper, doesn't look too good, does it? However, the eye test will tell you that our Jaguars typically play this team pretty close for whatever reason. Now,
they win.
No, I know. They win.
Jaguars beat
Yeah,
this
right.
team.
The record's like 1-2-6 or something like that. Under McDermott?
Josh Allen is 1-2 against this team.
1-2, yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is 2-0 against the Bills.
So let's make it 3-0. Can we?
Correct.
I got them winning.
I do too.
I got them winning 24-19. I'm going to stick to that 19 points a game, and I'm going to say we get a little bit more than they're normally giving up. So our defense is going to play outstanding. Our Josh Allen, Hines Allen, maybe that's why he changed his name. So you don't have to be confused with Josh Allen. He's Josh Hines Allen, JHA. Well, he needs a big game, and I think he'll have one. Look, they've got talent. We've got talent. We just need a little bit more attention to detail. And I think the pressure's just got to be put on the players to really execute the game plan. None of this will get them next time. None of this is something we got to fix. None of this, let's hold them all accountable and make them earn every little inch that they have to earn if they want to be a really competitive team. I don't care what 0-2 says out there in the National Football League in the history. That don't mean much to me because now you just got another game. Because next thing you know, you could be 1-2 and 2-2. What does that mean to a team? Do 2-2 teams have a chance to go to the playoffs? Damn right they do. So let's figure this thing out. Look, by the way, Jag fans, my picks this week, I got Chicago beating Indy. I got Green Bay beating Tennessee. And I've got Minnesota beating Houston. That's right. So I'm taking care of the AFC South for you. They're done. By the way, if we beat the Bills, we're 1-2. And if all those three lose, we got a chance for first place in the AFC South against the Texans, baby. How about that? Yeah, you got my thing all wet. That ain't cool, man. So we're right there for a chance to turn this thing around. What's your score, Graham? Did you have a score?
Jaguars are going to win this football game. They're going to win it 28-25.
I will say this. We need to get in a rhythm and don't let Josh Allen get into a rhythm. And he plays Josh ball. Like I say, that's how I want Trevor to play, for the record. I'll take the picks, but I'll also take the touchdowns. And I'll take the runs. And also take the passes. That's what I'm talking about. He is a dual. You don't think he's dual threat in Josh Allen. He's a dual threat. They don't call, well, they may call run. I don't watch every game. But he just, if things break down, smell you later. I'll go make the play. Oh, you don't want to get open? I don't feel, oh, you don't want to block the guys in front of you? I'll just go make a play. That's how Josh Allen plays. That's how I want Trevor Lawrence to play. Because he's got it in him. And when he turns that Trevor ball loose, he's on his game. And they just need to put him in the right spot to make those plays and let that happen. And go max protect and go deep to Brian Thomas Jr. Go deep to Gabe Davis. But you know what one of the keys are, Grammys, that they haven't been able to do is to get Captain Kirk one-on-one in the middle and let him go to work. Now, he's got to catch the ball better. I know this. But he also made some good catches. Need more of Captain Kirk. Ingram, I don't think he's playing. So, Brenton Strange, we need you to step up again. I think you did a great job last week. Got to catch everything thrown to you. You missed a couple, but you made a couple. Again, inconsistent. Let's be more consistent. Pay attention to detail. Punch him right in the damn mouth, and let's go get a victory up in Buffalo. I'll be back on Monday. I will. Got a birthday party this Saturday. My youngest, sweet 16. Should be fun. Got like 17 kids coming over. Yeah, be fun. They're not all sleeping over, I don't think. I don't know how many are, if any are, but should be a good time. And my BC Eagles got Michigan State. Be watching a full slate of the NFL. And then our Jags, baby. Monday Night Football, 7:30 p.m.
Dun, 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 dun.
You'll catch all the coverage right here on 1010XL, so make sure you check that out. Reminds me of Howard Cosell days. Those were the best. Those halftime reports from Howard Cosell. When I was a young kid, I used to be able to stay up until after halftime, and then I'd have to go to bed for Monday Night Football because those highlights were something else with that voice of the late and great Howard Cosell. That'll do it for us this time around here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Stay tuned. What do you got? Oh, give it. There you go. Stay tuned over the weekend. We'll be dropping Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mack as I cruise through the streets in a awesome lyric electronic vehicle from Fields Cadillac with my guest, Brett Myers. Until next time, y'all stay safe out there and be cool. And we'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace.